questions for Coach Moevao, Coach Moore, Coach Justin?
So for Coach Moevao, I think this might be the first time we talked to you since last training camp.
Yeah, I was actually just mentioning to Brett.
So what did it mean for you last year to see the team wear the No Fefe shirts and honor you and your family?
Yeah, it was special, man. It was definitely something. I was with my family at the time. I was actually with my mom and siblings, and you know, it was something that I didn't know was going to happen. It was the Utah week. Coach Brennan obviously knew the situation back at home, so being the great head coach and being about family and true to it, he allowed me to be able to spend some time with the family. And so during that time, you know, obviously we're kind of just enjoying the moments, not knowing what the future may hold. And then I actually got on Friday evening, my brother who coaches football up in Oregon, we were able to kind of go support him as a fun family outing while we were together, just to kind of get our mind off of things. And on our drive to the game, I actually got a text from Coach Viney and Coach Carter, and they just took a few selfies of themselves with their pre-game shirts on, and that read No Fefe. And you know, it was cool, man. You know, it gets me a little choked up, obviously, for rightful reasons. But you just think, you know, when you're in the grind of things, my biggest concern daily is making sure that I'm taking care of these dudes. You know, I'm coming to work with the right mindset, enough energy to be able to make sure that by the time the guys that I'm working with, anybody that I come in touch with, anybody that I have a conversation with, that I'm making sure that they're better by the time they leave that facility that night. And so that's always my focus every single day. So when you get caught up in the grind, you just think like, okay, you know, this is what we do, and it's very easy to get caught in auto drive. And so when I was with my family, I was saying, okay, they're getting ready for a big game against Utah. You know, the last thing that they're worried about is me and my situation back at home, because obviously the coaches got to worry about the game plan and the players got to worry about the game plan. And to see that text come through and a lot of the players, you know, shoot me text messages too, no one being one of them, you know, really hit home and it meant a lot. And yeah, you know, that's real deal, family and football.
And then can you tell us the story of No Fefe and why that's so significant?
Absolutely. You know, just a quick, brief rundown of it. So back when I was playing at Oregon State, back in my college heydays, we were playing against the #1 team in the country, USC. And, you know, we had a few games right before that, and kind of had a good start to the season, or a few rough games after that, but it really gave us a chance to be able to get back on track. And we had big USC, Pete Carroll, the Sports Illustrated defense, coming into town. And so my mom just one day, she met us at the bus as we were getting ready to board to go to the hotel on a Friday. And she just, you know, pretty much mentioned to me, son, you know, this is a David and Goliath battle. You know, not too many people believe in you guys, rightfully so. But as long as you guys believe in yourself and you take the field knowing that you are the best team in the world, anything can happen. And so No Fefe means no fear. You know, you respect everyone, but you fear no one. And so that was really the big thing. And so she just continued to just pound the table on No Fefe, No Fefe. And the reason why she said it in Samoan is just because we had so many Polynesians on the team. And so it kind of, you know, really caught on with a lot of the poly guys, including myself. And then the next thing you know, guys start kind of spreading the word and believing in it. And then, you know, you win that game off of that message. Well, that's going to do wonders as far as carrying that message on. And so just something that I continue to keep in the back of my mind as I take the field, even as a coach. Just continue to spread that. It may not be No Fefe itself, but it definitely is the message of we don't fear anyone. You know, respect everyone, but fear no one.
Justin, nice meeting you, Caleb.
Nice to meet you.
So tell us about this opportunity you had with the Packers.
Yes, sir.
Tell us all the details.
Yeah, so it was actually my second time going up to Green Bay. It's part of the Bill Walsh Diversity Coaching Fellowship. And so actually when I was playing Division III football, my offensive coordinator coached Matt LaFleur in college. And so, a small world connection. And so my playing career ended during COVID. I had tore my rotator cuff and labrum. And so kind of my parting gift with Coach Kiernan, who was my coach at the time, is he got me in touch with Coach LaFleur. And I went down there before I ever had coached a season. And so I guess I made the right impression on the right person, and they invited me back up this year. And then I had the opportunity to go up there, work with those guys, learn from their coaches, obviously a very successful organization. And they just poured into me and gave me everything I asked for, and tried to help me progress along in my coaching career. And they do that for a bunch of people. They had about 4 of us up at the time, and then they brought a second round of guys. But really it's just about developing coaches and giving guys an opportunity when maybe they wouldn't have one otherwise. So it was a really good opportunity. I was very fortunate.
As a young coach, to be in that environment, what did you gain from that?
Number one is every day is like a game-like practice, right? Everyone's taking their reps very seriously. They're going through their meetings, going about their business like pros. There's not a second off in that facility, right? They're locked in the meetings, they're locked in treatment, they're locked in rehab. And like I said, they're going about their business like a pro, and that's something I've been working with Coach Wade for going on 3 years now. And that's something we've always preached to our guys is go about your business like a pro. So it's really just affirmation to kind of what we've been teaching the guys in the room and the philosophies we believe in.
Jason and then David.
It's kind of what Justin said for you. Do you have to treat the difference in treating NFL guys when you're coaching them versus treating college kids and how you coach them? The similarities or differences in approaches?
Yes, sir. Number one, NFL guys, that's their job, right? That's how they put food on the table for their families. That's how they've kind of created the life for themselves that they have. So they take their job very seriously, and they've also been around the block, right? They're not 17-year-old freshmen coming into college kind of being green to everything, not really knowing what's going on. So you get a little bit more maturity from them, and they have that experience. But also at the same time, with the transfer portal and everything like that, is you have to have a professional relationship with the guys, and they have to know that you truly care about them for them to kind of buy into what you're teaching them. So there's similarities in it, but I would say the biggest difference is just the experience of those NFL guys is you're not really talking down to them, you're really working with them to kind of come up with the plan and coach them through things.
David.
Lyle, you talked about the Polynesian culture, obviously, when you were in college, and we've heard just how strong that is here. Kayana talked about it last week, that he was sold on it when he first came here.
Yeah.
Are all these situations the same in schools where you have a lot of Polynesian players? Is there a different kind of feeling for it from school to school? How would you kind of describe that?
No, I would say pretty much everywhere you go, a lot of the values are very much the same. Just because, there's only a few amount of cultures, different types of Polynesian cultures that you're going to run into out there. There's only so many islands where we're from, and so there's definitely a lot of common ground as far as the game of football and the values that we have shared growing up within the culture, which is what I think makes it special, and I think which is what a lot of people look for within a football program or just in general, any team environment. You look for those little things of loyalty, of love, of trust, all those things where, I take care of my brother, he takes care of me, we keep each other accountable. So many things just from top to bottom that cross over from the game of life to the game of football.
Brian and then Chris.
Lyle, what have you seen as far as the quarterbacks in terms of adapting to this system, especially not just Noah, but being able to have the other guys prepared for if something were to go wrong? Seth had mentioned a lot about that, having to have that confidence in the backups.
Well, I tell you the biggest difference is Seth Agee. That is the biggest difference. I think the demand, the demand of not just the quarterbacks, but everybody. Because, the quarterback is the one that touches the football every single play. However, if he doesn't have a supporting cast that's keeping him accountable or there's a lot of pressure on that guy too, every single play. And so I think, the difference in last year, as far as adjusting to the offense, everybody's kind of in the same boat. There's a new offensive coordinator. A lot of similarities with last year's offense, but just a different mentality. I think that's the biggest thing is the mentality, man. The guy is all about his business, and he expects everybody else to be all about theirs. And that's from top to bottom, staff and players included.
Were you a backup at any point at Oregon State, or were you starting the whole time?
No, I was a starter until I got hurt, unfortunately. So I started 14 games, or actually 18 games. Had a few injuries.
Kristen and Justin.
Kind of piggybacking off of that,
Mm-hmm.
you and Seth are both college quarterbacks.
Yep.
You
And
were-
Coach Miller.
Oh,
Shout out to Coach Miller.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You were a quarterback coach last year, and then Seth has come in and kind of taken over that responsibility. Are there things that you learned from him, things that you're trying to apply in your coaching and teaching that
100%.
he's teaching you?
100%. My eyes are on, and not just Coach Day, Coach Miller, Coach Quinn, pretty much any new coaches that haven't been here before, and even some of the coaches like even Coach Moore here, who's gone with the Packers, and he learned a few things. So I want to pick his brain on what he got from Green Bay. So constantly learning, that's the name of the game. Whether you're a player or a coach, always trying to figure out what's the edge. How can I get better myself for the sake of my players, and being able to move this thing in the right direction.
Justin.
Are you, for Caleb, are you one of the signal guys on the sidelines?
Maybe going into this year, we'll see
Okay.
kind of how things play out.
I'm curious though, with the new era, with the coach-to-player communication, like how does that work with you guys?
It's going to be different system to system, and obviously we're kind of still figuring things out as we get closer to the season, but it's really just about making things work right and everyone playing their part, no job too small, no job too big. So it's really just, whatever position I'm put in or whatever Coach Day, Coach Brennan needs for the team, I want to step up and take care of that job and help them out, whether that's signaling, whether it's coaching the receivers, whether it's coaching on special teams, just whatever I could step in and help with is kind of been my focus going into it.
And when you look at the collective group,
Yes, sir.
of receivers, what do you think about what these guys can bring to the offense?
Yeah, obviously having a great player like T-Mac last year, it's hard to replace someone like that, but I think we did a really good job building depth in the room. Adding speed, and even with experience, like Trey Spivey has played in games in college, Chris Hudson's played a ton of snaps in college, Luke Wysong's played a bunch, Nunu Watley has played a bunch. So adding some experience on top of the talent that we already have, even with those young guys like Gio and Isaiah, I think they're all really meshing well together and working well together, and I'm really excited to see how they complement each other on Saturdays.
We have time for one or two more. Justin, go ahead.
So for you, Caleb, what's
Yes,
the end goal in this coaching journey?
Yes, sir. With the Packers thing, it's always been my dream to coach in the NFL because I didn't get the opportunity to play in the NFL. So I was really appreciative to get the opportunity to go up to Green Bay. But I try to stay mission focused on where I'm at right now. We have a lot going on. We're trying to make sure we get things right this season. So I have the goal of working in the NFL one day, being a head coach, being an offensive coordinator. But especially right now, this camp's getting started up and things are rolling. It's hard to really think ahead. So I'm really just focused on right now and us being the best team we could be this year.
So you said you had the injury, and that's kind of what thrust you into coaching.
Yes,
Did
sir.
you always know that you wanted to coach in the back of your mind, or did that just kind of happen?
Yes, sir. So my dad actually coached in the NFL. He did the Bill Walsh internship. He was a defense coordinator at University of Buffalo. He coached Dwight Freeney at Syracuse and a couple other stops along the way. Even Coach Babers, he had worked with him at UCLA. So I knew I wanted to coach. These kind of first things first. I wanted to give everything I had to my playing career, like I said, be all in with what you're doing at the moment. And then when I got hurt, I actually had shoulder surgery. I played quarterback too in college, and I had surgery about 3 months before COVID hit. And then with just how Division III football is and the facilities and the resources we had, not similar to here, things just didn't work out playing wise. And then I got an opportunity to go be the running backs coach at University of Wisconsin-Whitewater. And so I just knew, with my ultimate goal being coaching, since I was a young kid, it was an opportunity I couldn't pass up. So I had to jump at that and kind of leave my playing career in the past.
For Lyle, so you were part of the staff last year.
Yep.
What are some of the biggest differences you've noticed in just how the offense is operating?
I think obviously the change of tempos. I think the variation of all personnels and formations and shifts and motions. I think there's definitely a lot more variety in the ways of being able to do it. I also think having again the coaches, going back to the coaches, man, I think the mentality that has been set forth by our offensive coordinator and then also carried out amongst us as assistants, it's definitely different. It feels different. It feels different from with the players. It feels different amongst the staff, even in our staff meetings. Guys are going in there and it's just like great play, or they're good plays that are being put on film, but at the same time, it's like good isn't good enough. We're trying to make sure that it's good, great, and then doing it again and again and again. And so just always trying to push the limits of setting the standard and making sure that we're getting the most out of our guys, but mostly out of ourselves.
And then lastly, Noah, what have you seen out of him, and what do you think is that next step for him as a quarterback?
I think for Noah this year, the biggest thing that I've seen is that he's become more of a vocal leader. I think last year, and I think some of it kind of is just because of the fact that T-Mac has now gone on to the NFL, which was obvious that it was going to happen. And so I think now Noah kind of realizes like, okay, now I am the guy, like I'm the go-to guy, even though he was already, right? But now it's just like I have to be the voice, I am the voice, and now he's making strides, and I think we're continuing to push that message to him, like, hey man, like you really, especially with all the different parts that are changing, right? Like we have 40 plus different faces on the staff or on the team, from after the season. And so it's like we need someone that's been here to be able to be that foundation, that spokesperson, right? Like this is the standard moving forward. There's only so much that we can do or say as a coaching staff to where it just like kind of caps out. But for that thing to come from the locker room, especially from that position, it definitely makes a difference in trying to push that message that we're trying to get across of tougher, tougher mindset, tougher play, all that stuff. And I think it really hits home when obviously there's a guy who's been here, who's been pulled in so many different directions in the portal and decided to stay here with all the past accolades that he's, accumulated over the years. It's like when you stay, well, now you have to say something. Like you have to be the leader, man. And I think he's really done a great job over the summer of really enforcing that, building off of spring ball. And now that we're in fall camp, you're starting to see it show up. And it's awesome. It's awesome to see.